How's it going, 33B? Joe Widmer, DFL candidate for the new House seat in the new district. I've been calling delegates, and I'm getting a great response on the phones. If I haven't talked to you yet, I'm making those calls as I can squeeze them in. One of the questions coming up: what do you do? What's your day job? This is it. I started a shop called Merganser Customs. During the pandemic, my son and I needed to Zoom and do all these internet-based activities, and we didn't have it at our house. I'm a big advocate for expanding broadband. We're in May Township, and we're just in a black hole. There's not much we can do. So what we did is we went to my shop. I had a little workshop where I kept boats that I worked on as a hobby, and because we had better internet there, and I just ended up spending most of my time working on boats, and so I went full-time. We expanded what we do. We also convert school buses if people want to turn those into campers. Work vans, food trucks, still doing pontoons. We got a couple camper vans in the shop right now. I'll show you that. So we found a little shop in Wisconsin, and you know, it's cheap. It's got what we need. So right here we got a client who she is going to retire in a couple years, and she bought a cargo van. And what we're doing for her is we're converting it. It's going to have a full shower, hot water heater, composting toilet, full galley, refrigerator, sink, 32 gallons of fresh water. We're gonna do 400 watts of solar, 200 amp hour lithium ion phosphate batteries, super efficient, off grid. She's gonna love it. She can go off grid for 2 weeks at a time if she conserves her juice. She's excited. I'm excited for her. We should all be so lucky. I mean, how fun would that be? So, yeah, it's what I do every day. It doesn't define me. I'm not one of those guys who lets that kind of stuff define them. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you chair your tickets at a movie theater. I don't care if you pump gas. If you're a caregiver for somebody who's elderly or disabled. It doesn't matter. There should be dignity in employment, and I've got a guy out sick today. He feels really apologetic, and I just can't stress it enough. Take your time, get better, come back when you feel better. I don't need you. I don't need you hating your job. I don't need you bringing that to work. I don't need any of it. Take care of yourself, okay? So I've had jobs where I've had bosses like that, and I've had the opposite. And sometimes it can be a little tough. So dignity in the workplace is a huge thing for me. I want to expand on a couple of big programs: living wage, paid time off. You know, these are just the economic things that I think as Democrats we're all pretty unified on. But what seems to be lacking is the follow through. If you look at the last primary in the presidential election, 10 Democrats, Medicare for all, let's do it. And, you know, they're all falling into where Bernie was to start. And then they get up there, or then they get elected, and where'd it go? It hasn't been discussed. It's not even on our radar. We don't even discuss it anymore. And I know there's a million different distractions, and especially today, there's a goddamn war in Europe starting today or this week. So I understand that there's distractions, you know, internationally, but your domestic agenda is still like the people that pay your bills, and you got to take care of people. So little disappointed in the follow through there on Democrats. You know, it is what it is. I'm still very happy we have competent leadership, especially with international conflict. But domestically, we got to do better, right? I mean, we've got to raise wages. I think in Minnesota, we just announced that our surplus is even larger than it was. Guys, I know we need investments in really important programs, but that money is, it's an obscene amount of money. The rainy day fund is full. We're being prudent. It's time to stimulate the economy the quickest way that it is, and it's putting money in people's pockets, period. I'm not talking about putting money in the pockets of millionaires. I'm not talking about tax cuts for rich people. I'm talking about one-time infusions. Keep the tax rates where they are. Next biennium, see if we're running deficits or running surpluses again. We reevaluate, but this time, put some money in people's pockets. Inflation is real. It's just a no-brainer, okay? So you're going to hear me talking about this all summer long. This is it's if these stimulus checks don't go out, I'm going to be really disappointed in the DFL. That's 100% common ground that we can get Republicans to agree with. Let's both parties pass that, get the money in people's pockets, and then run our campaigns and say, we came together and did it. It's just an opportunity. It's low-hanging fruit. And if anyone's going to politicize this surplus in that way, you gotta look elsewhere. We gotta give some money back to people, period. So that's me. I'll be making calls, and if I haven't talked to you yet, just stand by. I'll connect with everyone before the convention, April 3rd, Matamita High School, noon. And if you want to know more about me and issues, JOE33B. I'm definitely campaigning on environmental issues as well. I think the economy and the environment are the two things that really drive me in 33B, because we've got the St. Croix River and it is pristine, and that is because of the hard work of people before us and the hard work of people today. But the forces that exert influence on it are the watershed. It's so much larger. The watershed that feeds the St. Croix River it's the size of a small state. It's massive. And we've seen with miners up north on the edge of these watersheds, the industrial farming creeps near it. And I want to thank all the people that spend their day-to-day lives monitoring this, alerting us so that we can mount public awareness campaigns to fight them at the local level. Without them, these things would be happening. So I want to make sure that those people are empowered, that they have the grants and the funding that they need to keep it up. They're heroes, because the St. Croix River is everything. It's the reason I'm in the valley, and I think it's probably the reason you are too. So that's the thing: economic justice, environmental issues, dignity in the workplace. It's important. So if that's something you can get behind, look me up, JOE33B. Thanks for taking the time. Be in touch soon. Thanks.